Hey everybody, Joy here. It is Thursday already. Thursday, April the 9th, 2020. And I am doing this introduction to put on top of the video I made yesterday. Because yesterday I was wearing my muslin of this unfinished top. And it looked so horrible. And it came up in the picture. You know, there's always some picture that YouTube picks of you, of a video. They pick part of it out and then they let that be your picture. And I thought, dear Lord, nobody's going to want to see me make that top if they think it's going to look that horrible on me. So I wanted to tell you, the top that I'm going to talk about in the rest of this video, that was my first test. That was my muslin. They call it a muslin. I don't like the blue in it. I don't like the flowers that came out on each bust point over here. The neck is gigantic. The sleeves are gigantic. You can see my bra in the video. It's crazy. So I just wanted to say, don't go by that blue top you're going to see me wearing in this video, okay? This is the next top right here. It's not done. I haven't put the cuff on here yet. I haven't finished the neck yet. But I want you to see. You will notice later in the video, this video, you're going to see that the first blouse, the side seam was crooked. It was hanging forward. It was hanging forward like this on me. So I did a swayback correction. This has the swayback correction, and you can see that the side seam's straight now, the way it's supposed to be. You can also see that all of the drag lines from the ugly blue top are gone. There aren't any anymore. That's because there's a bust dart right here. And there's a bust dart right here. You know what? I'm actually enjoying this being at home all the time, except for, you know, after about a week of not going anywhere, I want to at least go out to lunch or something. But did you know what I did today? Let me roll this camera up. One of the things that I really love to do is cook and bake. I never talk about cooking and I never talk about baking because I had to quit baking years ago because when I reached a certain age, I could just look at the recipe and gain 5 pounds. Before that, I could eat whatever I wanted to. And I always stayed the same weight. I think I was 128 pounds to 130 pounds for years and years and years and years. And then all of a sudden that didn't work anymore. So I quit baking because if I bake it, I'm going to eat it, right? So I was downstairs fixing lunch for me and for Jerry, and I noticed you guys are stocking up on toilet paper and paper towels and Kleenex. We're stuck up on bananas for some reason. I don't know why, I swear to God. I bet we had 25 or 30 bananas down there. And there was 8 of them that were all dark spots all over them, you know. And usually I just throw them away when they get soft and they get like that. But today I remembered, I thought, I used to make stuff with these ripe bananas. And one of the things I used to make was a banana cake, some kind of a banana cake. I'm sure it had nuts in it. I won't make anything that doesn't have nuts in it. And it had cream cheese frosting on it. Well, I didn't have any cream cheese, so I thought, what else can I bake? And then I remembered my mother's banana nut bread. Before my mother died and I cleaned out her home, we had to move her out of her home, I kept her cookbook. She has these wonderful cookbooks. They're really, really old. And she has written on the blank pages in it several recipes that she used to make a lot when we were kids, and one of them was banana nut bread. And I remembered that her banana nut bread, that somehow you had to make the milk sour, you had to put vinegar in the milk and make sour milk. And so when I saw the recipe, I knew that was the right one. So I have just made banana nut bread, and 2 loaves are in the oven. Is that awesome or what? You gonna come have some? Come have some with me. Come, come, come. I'll put on a pot of tea and we'll slice the banana nut bread and we can go sit on the patio and we can swing and we can talk and we can look at all the beautiful green stuff growing out there in the woods. Ah, wouldn't that be lovely? What's that song? My Fair Lady. Wouldn't that be lovely? What were they singing? Wouldn't that be lovely? I don't remember, but anyway, it was in My Fair Lady. I love that movie. I didn't like parts of it. You know, it's like in Chicago. I love that movie Chicago, not because of the storyline, but because of the dancing and the choreography. I thought the choreography was just amazing in that movie. I have it here, and every once in a while we put it on. And even Jerry, she's like, the puppet show. How, if you've never watched it, get it just for the puppet thing. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. So anyway, there I go again. There I go again. And then there's another scene in there where all the ladies are in jail because they all killed their husband for some reason or another. And so the ladies are all in jail. And then the main character in the movie, she's laying in bed and the faucet's dripping. And the dripping faucet makes a beat in her head, and she starts having this dream. And in the dream, all the jail doors open, and the ladies step out, and then they all start doing a dance, and they start singing a song about what they did and who they killed and why they killed them and all that stuff. I'm going to get Jerry to put that movie in tonight. Now I want to see it again. And movies. I'm listening right now. I've got 3 CDs in my boombox over there from old movies. One of them is Camelot. The other one is Music Man, 76 trombones. And Camelot. And the other one is Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera. So that's what's been going through my head for the last 3 days while I'm learning to make this top fit me, and the stripes go all different ways. So that's going to be the new introduction to this. I'm going to show you exactly what I did. I showed you how to do the full bust adjustment. I showed you how to do the round back. I showed you how to do the sway back. I did not show you that I moved the shoulders down to be a size 8 instead of a size 12, because that other top, I mean, look at this one. It's still got enough room for you and me in it. So I moved the shoulder line way down. I left the rest the same. And I made the neckline a little smaller too. When you change the shoulders, it makes the neckline a little smaller too. So I really like it now. I may make several of them. And let me tell you one other thing before I go. One other thing. It's about this bag. Do you see this bag? This bag has the muted fabric in it. It's got the muted fabric in it. And it has the 2 earrings that I made, the 2 sets of earrings that I made in this bag. But Miss Stephanie Grams has not contacted me. I have left her 2 messages with my email. I have not heard from you, Stephanie Grams. So if I don't hear from you, Stephanie, by tomorrow, by the next time I make a video, I'm going to have to choose another winner for this muted fabric and the earrings to go with. All right? So Stephanie, check your comments. When you leave me a reply and I reply back to it, you should get a notification that you've got an answer to your reply, okay? And my email is there for you to use. All righty? So let's get on with the what pattern is this and what did I do to it? And I'll be back soon. I made a new top. This is it. Can you see all the things that are wrong with this top? Let me start by pulling it forward because it keeps writing backwards. Yeah, it keeps going back, back, back. What does that tell us? That tells us that we need a round back correction. So our shoulder seams stay on our shoulders and not back on our shoulder blades. They don't look good there. What else is wrong with this blouse? Do you see all the drag lines going down both sides? I made this without doing an FBA. I thought it's really big. Maybe I won't need an FBA in it, but sure enough, I need one. Look at how an FBA, it's got really big armholes, so, but look how an FBA, and I don't have a mirror, so hopefully this looks good. See, this side should be smooth, and this one should have all kinds of drag lines on it. Okay? Well, are you going to tell us what pattern it is, Joy? Yeah. I know it's $11.89. Does that help? I have never bought a pattern from this company before, but I was watching Micheline at Michu Makes the other day, and she had made this top. And I knew it was a downloadable one, so I thought, oh, I'll download it and make that, because I thought it was cute on her. I liked the way the sleeves were, and I thought it'd be so easy, you know, not having to inset a sleeve. And I thought the back being long and the top being less long, I thought that was cute. So that's why I got it. So it was tricky to put together. It took me hours to put it together. But once it's put together, and you can just forget that day, you know, and just enjoy the pattern, like, you know, having a baby, and then after you have it, you forget all the trouble you went through. There was a girl that I used to go to church with, had 9 of them. 9 babies. I thought I'd never make it through one. I should have had 9, though. Maybe at least one of them would like us, huh? Okay, so I need a round back in this. Do I need a sway back? No, because the fabric just hangs. And so there's nothing to buckle. It can't buckle in here because it just hangs down. So I don't need the sway back, but I do need the round back, and I do need the bust dart. So I started to do it, and I thought, oh, I'll just show them how to do it, because I know you guys always like to see the repeats of me making FBAs and round backs. All right, so I'll show you the back. This is the back. It's called Hot Patterns, Fast and Fabulous Shirt Tail Tee. All right? Fast and Fabulous, HP 1189. HP is Hot Pattern Shirt Tail Tee. It's cute. I'm not crazy about this print. I don't think I look good in this color blue. And I took it downstairs to Jerry, and he said, you have a flower on each boob. I said, I know. But it's not like one flower, it's like a bunch of flowers, so I'm thinking it looks okay. All right, so I want to show you what I'm doing to the front. I'm going to open it back up. It's all cut up, and I'm going to try to uncut it real fast to show you guys. Can you still see me over there? Now, this isn't done yet, so I don't even know if it's going to work yet. So let me set up the camera so you can see what I'm doing. This is the front of the pattern. The pattern comes with options. Why is it upside down? It's probably not upside down to y'all. I hope it's not. Let me see. Are we upside down? No, we're not upside down. Okay? It comes with options, and one of the options is to do it with the stripe. You remember the stripe that you just won, Jacqueline? I am going to use the stripe to make this. It's got 1, 2, 3. This is all upside down backwards. 3 pieces. All right, but I wanted to make the blouse the first time in the solid right here. Because before I'd make it in that really cute version, I wanted to make sure it fits me. Okay? So what you have to do to make it in the solid is tape all these 3 pieces together for the front. From here, over to here and up. Here, all the way over to the side seam and up is 1 piece. This piece right here, this big triangle, is 2 pieces, and then this piece right here is the 3rd piece, okay? So you have to tape them all together to get a solid front. So I wanted to do an FBA in this. I did not want to do this side and then this side because it's really hard to get them exactly alike. So what I did was I folded it in half. I folded the whole thing in half. Let me see if I can put it back together. Like Humpty Dumpty fell off a wall. Okay, so now I've got it back together. I have it back together. Can you see it really good? So how did I determine where the apex was? I know that my apex is 11 and a half inches down from my shoulder. So I measured. I put up here a 3/8 inch seam line. I measured down from it to 11 and a half inches, and I made a dot. Right there, I made a dot. It's on the other side. I know that my apexes are 8 inches apart. This is half a pattern, so you divide 8 into 2, you've got 4 inches. So from here to here is 4 inches, so I drew a line. From my apex down, straight line down. Then I followed my apex up into the armhole. This is a dolman, I think that's what kind it is, a dolman. And what's the other one? Raglan and dolman. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a dolman. So I cut from my bust point, which is right there, I cut down here, and I cut up to the arm, to but not through the seam line, and then I cut over here to where a dart would be on the side seam, okay? And so I cut through both halves at the same time. So now I can open this up and pray it stays together. I can open it up. Now you can see it pretty good. Let's do weight duty. Okay? So now you can see that even though I'm doing the whole front instead of half of the front, you can see that I can add paper here, and I am going to actually put a bust dart in this. I could move this bust dart down into here, but I don't want to because it's already plentiful enough. I'm wearing it. And in fact, I probably might narrow the side seam. Or you can, I'll do it like this is what I'll do. I'll do it like this. Instead of going straight down with your paper, you can put it back together like that. See, and the front will lengthen, and you can put it together like this, and then it won't make it bigger at the hem. It'll make it bigger higher up, but that isn't going to hurt. It's just a little bit. How much am I going to do? I'm going to do 1 inch. Because if I pinch this 1 inch, it looks really good on the side. Alrighty. There you are. Now, if this was straight, see my inches on my table? That's a little bigger than 1 inch. It's about there, okay? So I'm going to move that 1 inch apart. That creates a bust dart. That gives me more room in here, which will stay there, and it gives me more length down center front. This side is the same exact thing. Now, in order to keep the bottom from being so big around, I'm going to just move this back in here, and I'm going to move this back in here, and then that's going to be the way I'm going to draw my FBA. I decided to turn my camera on and let you watch me do this. Problem is I forgot to put it on record, so I'm a little bit ahead of you. So I took some copy paper, 8.5 by 11, and I cut it into strips. I cut it into strips. Then I took 2 pieces and I slid them up underneath this slit right here. Both sides are exactly the same, cut up the same. So I put these 2 pieces in this slit right here, okay? Only on this side. So here's 1 piece, here's 2 pieces. Then I tape it down along this cut. Not this cut, because this is the movie aroundy piece, okay? Taped it down, and then I marked 1 inch away from that line with this pen, because I know I need a 1 inch FBA. Then all of this is hinges. I've already taped that down so you can't see it move now, but you can see here, it all moves. It can be gigantic. Phyllis actually does 3 inches in hers. Okay, so this all is very movie aroundy. So we're gonna tape it all down and make it solid. So I drew my 1 inch. Now I am moving my bust point. Now, my bust point is right here, this little pink dot. I hope you can see it. It's right here, pink dot. Right here, pink dot. Now, this is what was joined to it. This used to touch that pink dot right here. It used to touch it. I'll show you here. See there, they were together. Now they're apart. So I've moved it 1 inch away. When I put the bust dart back in this, this will still be my apex. My apex didn't move, it's still up here, okay? We're just making a bust dart for it. So I'm putting this on the 1-inch line, but then I told you I don't want the fullness at the bottom. So I'm going to move this back in to touch at the bottom. So now I have width here, and then it gets skinnier, 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 because I know this is plenty big. It's plenty big on my hip. Plenty of room. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to tape that down better, because that's a real narrow skinny join right there. Then I'm going to take some more green paper, and I'm going to stick some green paper right there, and I'm going to stick some green paper right here. Do I always use green paper? No, only when I'm trying to show you so you can see it. Okay, so I have all of the slits, all these slits over here are green here now. And I'm going to tape them down really good. This is an FBA that leaves you with a bust dart. But that's all right, because I don't want the fullness shoved someplace else. Here's my bust dart right there. And we're just taping, taping, taping. We don't want that to go anywhere. This is really going to change the shape of those 3 pieces when I turn this into that stripe version. Okay? So, now you can see we're far off down here at the bottom. What am I going to do down there? I'm just going to add another piece of green paper. Just like that. Just like that. Okay? So, all I have to do now is draw a new bust dart. I know that my bust dart is going to be from here and from there, and it's going to aim up to this, my apex. It's not going to aim to this. It looks like that's a bust dart and that's where it's going to be. No, 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 no. You don't want this aiming at your navel. You want it aiming up here at your bust point. My bust point's 11.5 inches down. This is 12.5 inches down. That ain't gonna work. Then we know that your bust dart point cannot be all the way to your apex, because that doesn't look good. You don't want your bust dart to look like you stuck a snow cone under your blouse. All right? So we're gonna line this up. We're gonna come back 1.5 inches, because I just think that's where I want mine to be. And I'm going to draw a bust dart, aiming at me right there. That's aiming at me. And then I'm going to draw another one right here. Another line. Okay, so here's my bust dart. This all is staying there. That's extra that I need. It made my armhole crooked up here. What I'll probably do is put another piece of paper in there, and then I'll put my ruler in there, and then I'll draw this. Let's look and see what it was to start with. To start with, it was a straight line down to that dart, down to the notch. So I'm just going to make it a straight line down to that notch again. There, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. Now we have to perfect the dart. We don't have anything cut over here to know what the heck to do with this dart. So what you do with that is you take the dart and you fold it in. Remember, it's covered with tape. All right, so that's the dart folded in. So I am now, I'm going to check and make sure I got plenty of room here. I do. So I am going to bring this in here and take a little away and add a little, like that. Let's see what that looks like. There. Look at that. You got to tape stuff down. All this green paper. It takes a long time to make a garment when you got to go through all this. It's so nice when you don't have to have an FBA and everything you do. See, this pattern's going to come apart right there. And it's going to come apart right here. And right now, there ain't nothing lining up. So that'll be kind of fun to play with. So we're going to cut this, make that the new armhole. I cut a size 12, made 12 at the top, 14 in the hip, and it worked out really good. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do this exact same thing. Cut and paste to the other side. Then I am going to have to redraw the design and then cut those pieces out. Very, very strange. I'll show you what the three pieces look like. That's what they look like. This is the bottom, this is the side. There's a dart in this piece, and there's a dart in this piece. The dart right here, and a dart right here. Okay, so these lines are all messed up now. So I am going to have to recut and reshape that part. But won't that be pretty in a stripe? I'm excited to do it. All right, that first part was really a chore, let me tell you, especially chopping it back up into the three pieces. I would recommend if you haven't done a whole bunch of this, that if you do it, you just keep it solid and you don't chop it up. Because that was quite a chore, let me tell you. So I'm just going to put about a ½ inch here because it doesn't seem to pull back more than that on my shoulders. So I'm putting ½ inch of a Swayback. More green paper. There it is. Simple as can be. And how do we do a Swayback? If we did a Swayback, we'd cut it here above the waist and we would cross it over. Instead of adding paper, pulling it apart, we would cross it over and remove part of it. But my seams are hanging. Are they? Are my seams hanging straight? This is how you can tell. If my seams are going forward, then I need a Swayback. And I think they might be. I'm going to go look in the mirror. I'll be right back. My seams certainly are going forward. Here's the seam on my pants. They're straight. Look where the seam is on the top. So we're going to put a Swayback in this too. Swayback duty. Let me see. I need to come back down about 14 inches. You want it to be above your waist. My waist is down there at 16 somewhere, so I'm going to do it here. I don't know, it looks right about here. Okay? So I'm going to cut it across to the 3/8 inch line. I actually went a little further. Now I am going to cross it over 5/8 inch because that's what I always cross it over. 5/8 inch. So I'm going to move the mouth. See the mouth? We have a mouth. Open wide, close, open wide, and we're going to do an overbite. We're going to do an overbite at center back, 5/8 inch. I had an overbite when I grew up. When I married Jerry, and I had more than 2 pennies to rub together, I had braces put on. I was 26 years old. I had braces. I didn't care. I would never smile. You all say I smile so much. Well, I never smiled until I was 26 years old. So there we go. We have a Swayback and we have a round back, and we're going to make this again. And I bought some pattern. Now, you know the bust darts are gonna screw up stripes, right? I thought about doing a Viv and just finding 3 different prints that went together or something. But I'm not brave enough to do that. So I'm going to use this one. That's what I'm going to use. I figured this will hide a bust dart. So I'll come back and show you after a while. The 2 bust darts are here. I've chopped it up into the 3 pieces. That was no small task. It was no small task. If you haven't chopped up a pattern and made a new style out of it before, I wouldn't recommend you try that part of it. It was pretty tricky. It was pretty tricky, and I'm not even sure how good it's going to look. I'm going to hold it up and show you. Let's put it on you. And then we can see if we like it. Okay, so see, this will come in here. And it's got a dolman sleeve. How does that look? Should I hold her up? Can I lift you up? Where does that lifting your own body up? I bet you don't know as much as I do, it'd be dead. All right, girl. There you go, you stand over there. This is one of those crazier than usual joy videos. This is still the same day, it's still the night. I just got through making the video, the introduction to this video where you saw me wearing the stripe top. Okay, is this it? Yeah, here it is. I've still got to put the cuffs on it and finish the neckline. But I'm thinking it's still a tad big for me. I think I'm going to end up making a size 6 before this is over with. And then I can tell the whole world, I wear a size 6 now. I hope y'all can find something about this video that you like. I'll be back soon doing what only God knows right now. Hasta la vista.